Hello, quilting family. I see some of you have beaten me here. Hello, I see Annette. Good afternoon in hot and muggy Kissimmee. Yeah, um, I told my husband last night to get used to the curls because I always say goodbye to my oven for the summer and also my hair dryer. So you're going to get to see curly hair as it gets warm and humid. Because even in the summertime, if I straighten my hair, it's just going to go curly again anyway. So, what is going on this week? A lot. I am deep in the throes of produce. I, my husband and I live less than 2 miles away from a very large organic farm, and that is where our food comes from. I would love to grow food, except I don't like to garden, and I'm overrun by deer and critters. So I figure they can handle the fencing over at the farm and grow all of our food for us. We often eat food that was picked that morning, and we get a big food basket once a week of whatever's in. So right now, we're trying to discover ways to avoid lettuce for breakfast. Um, we have 7 heads of lettuce in the refrigerator right now because apparently lettuce is growing beautifully right now. And you can have salad for lunch, salad for dinner, making lettuce wraps. I'm trying to think of other ways to eat lettuce. If anyone has ideas, I'm all up for it because, man, do we have lettuce. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Um, so, yeah, doing a lot of kitchen cleaning, pantry cleaning to just get everything ready to hit the ground every day and cook. Today is not bad. Today there's a stew because we already ate tonight's dinner. Don't ask. Long story. So yeah, we've been dealing with kohlrabi and fennel and lots of strawberries. So it's a beautiful day. Does anybody else do a lot of produce cooking or gardening that they're just drowning in produce? Because I'm going to be drowning in kale from now till December. I have dinosaur kale and curly kale, good stuff. And I don't eat kale. I don't eat kale raw. It hurts my jaw to chew it because it's just a lot of chewing. I've dislocated my jaw 11 times, and I'd like to not go for a 12th. So I do have jaw problems. But my favorite ways to eat kale are cooked. So I can put it in a soup. It's delicious. Put it in soups like the soup that I'm making is sopa de fuba. I think it's Brazilian. It's cornmeal and sausage and kale. I also will do zuppa toscana. I will put it in quiches, egg dishes, things like that. And I also like to make a Dutch dish. It is called Barnacle Stampet. And you boil your kale in with your mashed potatoes, and then you serve it with gravy and sausage. So that's all some good stuff. Looking forward to all of those. So every day it's like, how am I cooking up my greens today? Looking forward to, it's always a good challenge. I did cook up kohlrabi greens because all the kale and lettuce I had wasn't enough. I eat the greens off of all of the other produce we get. So that's what I do when I'm not quilting. Zuppa Toscana is your favorite. Let's see, Annette. You love kale and soups. Yeah, I don't care for it raw. Like growing up, kale was what they put on your plate as a garnish in a restaurant, and now it's the main staple of our diet. So, oh, sorry, the curls are just going everywhere today. Zuppa Toscana, super good stuff. And if you live near me, Italian sausage is on sale this week. So we can make more of that. And I have my husband and I are big tea drinkers, and we are tea leaf drinkers. You know, we drink in teas. We make our own tea in infusions with a tea strainer in mason jars, and we drink that. So I made, I think I processed like 12 pounds of chicken last weekend to have cut up cooked chicken, you know, shredded chicken in the freezer that I can just throw into meals. I can throw it into stir fries and quiches and soups and all that other stuff. So it's all done. But I ended up with a gallon of chicken broth that I put all of my broth scraps into that I keep a quart container on the door of my freezer. So I'll put vegetable pairings, other bones, things like that. Anytime I'm ready to make broth, I just dump everything in. Usually like shiitake stems, a lot of really good stuff in broth. So I put all these jars of very dark, dark broth in the fridge, and my husband took it out and thought it was iced tea. That was interesting. He thought it was his brewed iced tea, and he was like, "It had what was that?" So he didn't drink it, but it got close. So the hilarity of having a mixed marriage where I put broth in jars and he puts tea in jars. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. A lot of cooking. I do have a cooking Instagram page. It's called Debbie Does Delicious. And then that comes over to my personal Facebook page. So if you want to see what I'm cooking, I put up pictures, and and I tag where I get it from, like the local organic beef place or the pork place or the farm, local cheeses, things like that. So we are very blessed that we live in such a farming rich environment, and that we can get all of our food pretty much delivered. I mean, my husband will pick it up on his way home from work, or I'll go over and pick it. It's just, again, I have to pass it to go anywhere, and all of our food travels 2 miles. So that's the cooking I'm doing. I live in the summer with Instapots and toaster oven because I don't have air conditioning, and oven, not a good thing. The best thing I did with my Instapot was I got a little Instapot. So I now have a big Instapot and a little Instapot. So I can cook pasta, rice, potatoes, things like that. I can cook my side dish in my little Instapot while I'm cooking the main attraction in the big Instapot. It's pretty exciting. That's how boring my life is. That makes me really super happy. Let's see what else I'm doing. I am cleaning. My house has not recovered from my winter of being sick, and my organization in my house has not recovered from rebuilding my house. Back in end of 2019, my house was destroyed by a falling tree, and then rebuilding it was suspended during early pandemic, lumber shortages, things like that. So we still have boxes put aside. And I need to do a little more organizing because nobody's been here since the pandemic. I mean, it's just been us. My grandkids haven't even come. They've come like for day visits, but we usually go there. It's easier with the babies and stuff. So I have a lot to redo in the house. And you know what really helps you redo things in the house? Company. So I have a friend flying in to spend a few days with me in my sewing room. So I've been cleaning and organizing and trying to make a very pleasant place for her. And it's somebody you'll know, and she'll end up in pictures and on videos and such. But if you have a friend coming in to sew with you, what's the most important thing to do in your sewing room? Because the sewing room is next. So there's like no makeup, no hair. I'm cleaning and organizing today. She's not bringing her own sewing machine, so she's using my sewing room. So I have a cleared cutting table. I have a cleared pressing table. I have 2 sewing machines cleared and ready to use, and I have a cleared quilting machine ready to use. And I got new tables that you crank them, that they are height adjustable. So I can put it next to my sewing machine or next to my quilting machine, and they just change height to whatever I need. So I was thinking of giving each of us a sewing machine with our own cutting pressing table next to us to spread out on. Whenever you're sewing or going on retreat, what's the most important thing in your sewing area? Like, what am I forgetting? Because I'm well stocked. I've got thread and fabric and pins, and I have everything that she would need. But I don't want to forget anything, and I want to treat her well. I haven't had company in a while. I did have company last fall. A friend and I went on a quilt retreat, and while she was gone, her family got COVID. So she ended up staying here for a couple of weeks while COVID ran through her house, so that she was well enough to go to work. So I did have company there, but that was just quick down and dirty. Sure, you're welcome to whatever we got. Let's see. I have someone checking in here from Shahola, Pennsylvania. Hello. I'm sure I drove by not too long ago. If this is Pennsylvania, I live in New York. Well, I think this is backwards. So I live in New York. Mom lives in Pittsburgh, and I drive all the way across Pennsylvania, all the different ways you can go. Um, but there's some good farming there, some good farm markets, and hopefully you can enjoy the produce of the season as well. Let's see, Annette, you wish you had a good co-op. Yes, I'm so lucky. I know other people travel to come to ours, and on the weekends, it's strawberry picking season right now. On the weekends, at our farm, it's called Fishkill Farms. I live near Fishkill, New York, um, and it's all full of New York City folks. Whenever zip cars were really popular, it was just like lined with zip cars. Now it's it's a mile from the interstate to the farm, and then a little less than 2 miles from the farm to my house. And coming home from the interstate, it can take me what 8, 9 minutes, 10 minutes to go those 3 miles. During weekends, during strawberry season, apple season, pumpkin season, it can take 45 minutes to get home. Um, so living near a farm can be interesting, a very successful farm, but they're coming for the events, and we're there for the weekly food, and we can pick up our food on Friday or Saturday, and we're all like, Friday, we are not coming on Saturday when all the tourists are here. Let's see. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been ordering from Monsieur Standard, where I can get some foods in bulk that I can't get at the store, like some organic grains. You can get produce and plants and things like that. There has to be a drop off near you, and I looked to see where a drop off was, and I'm like, wow, that's near my church. I mean, it's about 7 miles away, but that's close for us. Turns out it's at my church, so it's super easy to get to. So if you don't have a co-op, try Azure Standard. It's in bulk, and then a big tractor trailer pulls up and everybody unloads it and you take your stuff home. So back to the sewing room. Outlets for the iron, definitely. Fortunately, I have 2 different breakers, that's what they're called, in my sewing room. And I know that from whenever we run the generator. So I can have, I'm not going to overload the outlets. You like to have a press by me with surge protectors, definitely. I can definitely do that. And I do have some tabletop ironing boards. I have the big wool pressing mat. And then I also have I have some pressing tables from TNT quilt boards. Love them. If you don't live near them, they'll ship to you. If you do live near in the Northeast where they vend, definitely pick it up there to save yourself the shipping. But I have some TNT quilt boards. I have my big pressing table, and you can look them up at TNT quilt boards. I have the pressing table, which I think is 66 inches wide, 66 inches long, and then maybe 24 or so wide. I'm not sure what this dimension is. And then it's on a table. And then I have 2 travel boards, so I can put that on a table. And then I also have a big wool pressing mat. And then I have small cutting mats and stuff. Let's see. You'd be happy and comfortable with you described. Oh, that's good, because I want her to be happy and comfortable. Most importantly, though, I am a tea drinker, and my friend is a coffee drinker. We don't have coffee in this house. So the coffee, my grocery delivery just arrived, and the coffee made it. Sometimes they don't bring everything, so we're good. She's got coffee, because I keep a coffee pot and coffee filters. But when she used to visit me more often, I kept coffee here, but then I gave it to my daughter-in-law to drink because I didn't want it to go bad, with the pandemic and everything. Waste baskets at each sewing station? What? Did anyone ever see I'm kidding. Yes, that's a great idea. And I have a bunch of shocking Hello Kitty waste baskets. But did you ever watch Eleanor Burns TV, where she sews and throws the scrap over her shoulder? Who needs a waste basket? We could just throw it over our shoulder, right? Isn't that how you do it? Oh, good ideas. Let's see. TNT quilt boards are wonderful. They are. And as I'm getting back out into the quilt world, I think I need Maybe some of the little personal ones, because she has some that are about 12 inches square, 10 inches square, just for quilt shows, for quilt retreats, just to do a little pressing next to you. You just saw Tracy and Tim Saturday, Angie? That's great. I love them. I love them. I know some stores carry them. I know you can get them at quilt shows. So definitely check and see if your store has them, your local quilt shop, or try to get them from them. Big fan, huge fan, happy. You have, let's see, I have a lot. You have hot water pot for tea in your room. It's a straight shot from the kitchen to the sewing room. Like my sewing room, like behind me right here is laundry. You might be hearing my sheets and towels drying right now. And then on the other side of that is my sewing room. So it's right there. But that is a great idea. What I do have though is I have a big carafe that will hold like a quart of hot liquid for about 12 hours. So I can make a big pot of tea for myself. If I'm like, I didn't do it this winter because I didn't sew this winter, because I didn't breathe this winter, because I was down with COVID on the couch. But in the winter, if that's the only room that I heat, I make a big pot of tea and keep it in there with me so that I don't have to come out, because it's a little cold to come out. Let's see. Your sewing room's on the 3rd floor, so you have a mini fridge. I think if I were that far away, I would. My sewing room is actually the great room at the end of the house. So I'm sitting in my kitchen right now. So this is a colonial right here, front door. And then there, you go down, and at the end of the house is my great room. Under it is a 2-car garage. My garage is under my house. My entire house is up a flight of stairs. Sorry. Which is annoying because I've had to look at ramps and stuff to get into my house. But right next to my sewing room is a bathroom. Across the hall from the bathroom is a laundry room. And then here I am in the kitchen and my husband's office. So we're all just like right here. And the living room and dining room, the parts of the house I don't use, that's over there. But if I were on the 3rd floor, I would want a bathroom, a fridge, and definitely a teapot. Let's see. So sorry, I got on somebody's spam list, so I'm getting text and phone calls like crazy. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. So I'm going to get some sewing done before my friend gets here, get some cleaning done before she gets here, and expect some crazy videos. I might even do some baking. Got some strawberries, we think scones, maybe some cookies, things like that. It's amazing what you can do in a toaster oven. So it'll be weird to have company for the first time in years, but I'm looking forward to some big hugs and some fun with quilting friends. I will be back tomorrow night. Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio Facebook group, where I talk about Feather Lesson 7. And that we're going to be doing feathers that wander all the way around. So we've done traditional feathers. We have done flexible feathers. And if you're in the class, if you are enrolled in the paid class, lesson 7 will give you a charm square pattern. And I've got charm squares available at my website. Let me make a note to promote those, like put them on sale. So a charm square quilt where you can practice your feathers. I did during the pandemic, gave away all of my samples. So I think all of those went to a local group that takes meals and things to families with cancer patients. So all of those went out as lab quilts, all of those charm square quilts. But we're going to learn how to do a wandering all around the quilt and feather. So that'll be tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in the Facebook studio, in my Machine Quilting Studio Facebook group, and then also on YouTube. So I will be back tomorrow night. Happy quilting, everyone. If you are enjoying curly hair, summer hair don't care time, enjoy that for yourself. Enjoy the produce. If you're out in the Northern Hemisphere, it's good growing times. And just enjoy where you are and whatever special things it has to offer. For me, it's a lot of cooking of a lot of produce, which makes me very happy. So happy quilting, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow night.